Hello guys. Continuous story night. Yes, she said, but he's old enough not to be sketch. You can't get ahead of Marvel on after first thing we done is stay Petersburg. I was to go to Chamber of Commerce and register our name and where we was from as the great rivalry amongst the different states in regard to the number of their civilization visiting town and of course our little state don't stand much of the show, but still very little bit. Hell was the fullest all and all. The man told us there was 11,000 names registered a whole Latin with some 1,500 out and New York State next with 1,200 the come Michigan, Pennsylvania and so on down which on each from Colorado and Nevada. The first night we was ready was a meeting of the New York Society at the church and the man from New York State made in toy. His subject was rainbow chasing is a routine and very convicting speaker though I forgot his name. Our first business of course was to find a place to eat and after trying several places we ran on to the cafeteria on Sixth Avenue that suited us up and down. We eat pretty near all our meals there and the average about $2 per day for the two of us. But the food was well cooked and everything nice and clean. Man, don't mind paying the price if things is clean and well cooked. On the 3 day of February, which is a Mother birthday, we spread ourselves and ate supper at the Pennsylvania Hotel and they charged us 75 cents for the sirloin steak that wasn't hardly big enough for one. I said to Marvel, I said, I guess it is a good thing every day I am your birthday or we would be in a perhaps no say matter because if every day was my birthday I would be old enough by this time to have them in the microwave like a crook. I can't get ahead of mother at the hotel. They had a card room where there was several women and the ladies play 500 and this new Vangela Westbury. We also sent place where they all dancing. So I asked mother would she like to travel life fantastic too and she said no, she was too old to scream like you have got to do now. Daisy watched some of the young fellow at it while their mother got distracted and said we would have to see a good movie to take the taste out of the old mother. Mother is a great movie, Hiron, and we go to it a week at home, but I want to tell you about the part. The second day before we visit the park, which is the goat the light on the temple. Only bigger and there is more fun goes on here every day than you could shake a steak at. In the middle there is a big bandstand and chair for a foot to sit and listen to choir, which they gave you music for all tastes from up the classical peg like horror and flower. Then all around the place market of for different sport and game, chase and checker and domino for food and enjoy to sky the game and roku and horse show for a nimble round. I used to pitch a party for a show myself, but I ain't done much of it in the last 20 years. Well, anyway, we bought a membership ticket in the club, which cost $1 for the season, and they told me that up a couple of years ago it was 50 cents, but they had to write it to keep out the referee. Well, mother and put in the greedy day watching the picture, and she wanted to should get in the game, but I told her I was all over the practice and full of myself, so I sent several men pitching who I guess I could take chair measure without to pray already was some good pitcher too and boy from Akron, Ohio who called certainly through a pretty show. They told me it looked like we'll win a championship of United States in February tournament. We come away a few days before they held that I had to have even. I forget his name, but he was a clean cut young fellow and he has got a brother Sylvan that's retiring. Well, we just stand around and watch the different game for 2 or 3 years and finally sat down at the checkboard game with the man named Weather from Delville. He was preferred checker player, but he was a no match for me. And I hope that don't sound like beret, but I always go hold my own on a checker bro and the flag around here will tell you the same thing. I play with the weather parade near all morning for 2 or 3 morning. I had on game and then leave other time. Luckily I had a change. The nose slept below and we had to go ahead and go to dinner. While I was playing checker, mother will sit and listen to the band as she loves the music classical or no matter what kind, but anyway she was sitting there on the between selection to woman next to her open up the conversation. She was a woman about mother on a 70 or 71 and finally she asked mother name and mother told her name and where she was from. The mother asked her name musician and who do you think the woman was well sir it was the five of friend Mr. Horson the name who was in judge to mother's tell I stepped in and cut him out 52 years ago. Yes, sir. You can imagine Mother's surprise, and Mr. Harleston was surprised too when Mother told her she had once been friends with her husband, though Mother didn't say how close friends they had been or that Mother and I was the cause of her less going out with. But that's what she was. Harold left his town a month after a judgment was brought up, and I had never been back, so I have been out of Mexico and become a voluntary and we had settled down a wholesale in Michigan and finally married his wife. Well, mother is cruel. He courage to ask if Frank was still living and Mrs. Hartlett took her already where they was pitching horse shoes and drove the old Frank waiting his turn and the knock mother as soon as he seen her thought it was or 50 years instead he know her by her eyes. Why is likely for all he said and throw down his shoes and quiet the game. Then they come over and handed me up and all confused. I wouldn't enough know him and I use the same ego at the moment but the same to show it more. Some ways the bladder from unseen and his beret is all white where my his silk out straight off brown. It is the very first thing I said to him. I said, well, friend, that braid of your may melt like what? No, it looked like a regular blizzard. Well, I said, I guess, yeah, right. I guess you will be just a boy if you hit a dry clean it. But mother will stand in that. Is that so? Suspicious rival curly eye and had to tobacco is the mouth of 14 years. And I ain't well I excused myself from the checker game and I was pretty close to know. So we decided to all have dinner together and there is nothing for it only we must try to cafeteria on Trade Avenue. It was a little more expensive than or not nearly as good as so and I and Mara had about the same dinner we had been having every day and her belly was $10 franc check was 120 for the and his wife the same meal full of cost them more than $1 at the Ur Palace. After dinner, we made them come up to our house, and we all sat in the parlor which the young woman had given us to us of the entire train company. We began to lie over old time, and mother said she was scared Mr. Hudson would find it tiresome to we through our old time, but as the train turned it out there was a matching for nobody else to talk with Mr. Harless in the company. I have heard lots of women that call good, but housewife take the cake of all the women I ever seen. She told us the family history of everybody in the state of Michigan and Berea for a half hour about her son, who she said in the dry business in the garden rapid and the routine. When I had Harleston go get a word in the edge away, we jogged on another bag and the force I had chaffed him about being a horse doctor. Well, Fry, I said, you look pretty prosperous, so I suppose they banned penalty of the land around Hillside. Well, he said I've managed to make more than a fair living, but I worked pretty hard. Yes, I said, and I suppose you get called all hour of tonight at bread and so on. Mother made me shut up while I saw they would never go home, and I Mar was a mystery trying to keep awake as the both of us generally awaited enough after dinner. Finally they went after we had made an engagement to meet them in the park the next morning, and Mr. Hartley also invited us to come to their place the next night and play 500, but she had forgot that there was a meeting for the Michigan Society that evening. It was not till 2 evening later that we had our first card game. Hartzell is a wildlife at the house on Troy Avenue. Nurse and had a private sitting room beside her bedroom. Mr. Hartson couldn't quite talking about the private sitting room life was something wonderful. We played cards with them, with Mother and Hartleston partner Kyle. His wife and I, Mr. Hartleston is a miserable corpulent, and we certainly got the worst of it. After game, she brought out the dish of the organist, and we had to pretend it was just was what we wanted to organize down really like a young man. Whiskers, you enjoy them at first, but they got to be a pisky nuisance. We played hard again the next night at the old place with the same partner, and Mrs. Hartleston was bed again. Mother Harlan was full of the compliment for each other and what a good team they made by the both of them. Now well and now were the secret of 3 6 late, I guess all and all we must have played them different evening, and it was only on night when Mrs. Harrison and I come out date, and that on night wasn't no follow of the hand. When we had been down there about 2 weeks, we spent an evening as Drake also in the congratulation chart and the society given by Michigan Society. The tour was made by a man named Betty of Detroit, Michigan. And Howard's Crow of Streetley is a big man in a Detroit and give event to toy woman named after Oxford. Then there were some selection which Mr. Asau said was grand opera music, but whatever there was, my daughter it could have give her current spade and no man such a hullabaloo about the neither. Then there was a from Grandpa and young woman, but for 45 years of ago that mimic different thing of bread. That's enough. Rest of tomorrow. Goodbye.